This tutorial is for Lesson 4 homework question number 9. You are comparing prices to two different apartments. The first apartment is new and fully furnished with a monthly rent of $900. The second is a basement apartment that is much older, but with a rent of $625 per month. Compare the two apartments by price by filling in the blanks in the sentences below. The basement apartment is blank percent less than the new apartment. And round to the nearest tenth. The basement apartment is blank percent of the new apartment. So the first thing we want to do is translate these sentences. So the first one is the basement apartment is blank percent less than the new apartment. So we can actually just copy this and bring it over so that we can translate it. Okay, so the basement apartment is, and I'm going to change this blank here. Can I get rid of this? Oh, nope. So the basement apartment we put as the second. The second is a basement apartment. Yep, so this is the second equals, for the word is, blank percent less than. This one is kind of tricky. As in the other tutorials, we're going to start it with a parenthesis because when we see the phrase less than, we actually reverse these. The whole entire new apartment is 100%. Less than means subtract, so we're going to subtract. It's less than what percent. We don't know what that percent is, so I'm just going to put X and then we'll close the parenthesis. So it's 100% minus the X, so 100% is what percent is less than the 100% of the new apartment, and so we're going to multiply that by, and that was told us first, the first apartment. All right, so that's our first translation from the English sentence into the math equation or math sentence, and then we just throw in the numbers. So the second apartment is 625 equals, 1 minus, we don't know what X is, so we keep it X, times the first, which is 900, and then solve for X. So we're going to do that by dividing both sides by 900 because these guys are in the parentheses and we can't take them out yet. So we'll divide 900 here. 900 divided by 900 is 1. 1 times 1 minus X is just 1 minus X, so it's like it cancels out. And again, we do that on this side because you can't just do something on one side of the equation without the other. All right, so we end up with 625 divided by 900 equals, and we can leave the parentheses off now because nothing else is on this side, and it's just 1 minus X. And to finish solving for X, we need to get rid of the 1. The 1 is positive, so we'll subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract 1, and that gives me 1 minus 1, which is 0. I'm just going to copy and paste this for my next step. 1 minus 1 is 0, so I'm left with just negative X. And so we'll just divide that at the end. I'm going to come over here and we'll divide these and then subtract the 1. So I'm going to calculate with Excel by typing equals in first. 625 divided by 900, subtract 1, and then press enter, gives us, let's just copy and paste here. Paste, there we go. And that equals negative X, and we'll make this a little larger so that we can see that in the video. All right, and then just divide both sides by a negative to make this positive. And that will also make this positive. So I'm just dividing that by a negative, divide that by a negative, even though I didn't write it down there. I apologize, just getting lazy. And then change that to a percent. So we move the decimal over 2 places to the right. So I end up with 30.55, and it's 5 repeating. So that's where the 6 comes from, percent. And this equals X. All right, and it wants us to round this to the nearest tenth, so that rounds up to 6. So we get 30.6%. Now the next one is the basement apartment is blank percent of the new apartment. So this is a different sentence that we have to translate. We'll come over here and I'm going to, just like the other one, I'm going to copy and paste, and then we will translate this. So the basement apartment was the second apartment, and I'm going to copy and paste this down here just so that I get the the size of it, the text and everything, the font. So the second apartment is being translated is an equal sign. What percent? And we again don't know this, but it doesn't say less than. So I can just put X because we don't know what it is. We'll just put X. Of means multiply. The new apartment is the first apartment, and that's all we have to do. And we just plug in our numbers, 900 and 625. And so I get the second apartment is 625 equals X times 900. And to solve for this one, we'll divide both sides by 900 because we want to solve for X. 900 divided by 900 here is 1. 1 times X is X. So we get 625 divided by 900 equals X. And then I'm just going to come over here and find it in Excel. So equals to calculate 625, one left click, and then divide by, and again one left click to cell reference the 900. And this is just faster. And there we go. We get 0.694, which is 69.4%, but we should put it in the decimal form first. And that equals X. Change it to the percent by moving the decimal over 2, so we get 69.44%, which is X. And we can put that over here as 69, and again it wants us to round to the nearest tenth, so we'll just go out one decimal place, and that's 0.4. All right, and we can just verify in the how did I do and move on to our next problem.